story from the Rebbe about the Rebbe Isaac of Kislev, and it's related to Tzfas. First, they make a little introduction who this Rebbe Isaac of Kislev was. Rebbe Isaac of Kislev was one of the Rebbe's who brought Chassidus to Hungary, and he would sometimes take Hungarian Shavuot, and Rebbe Isaac of Kislev took Hungarian folk songs and he would sing it to the Chassidim, because he said that a lot of these tunes that are really inspiring used to be by the Jews, like that sang in the Beis Hamikdash and other places, and it got transferred to other nations, and those are the songs that they're singing. That's why it's so heartwarming. And he once found a shepherd that was singing a song. He said that this song is from the Second Temple period, and he asked the shepherd, "Can I buy the song off from you?" So the shepherd said, "Yeah." He bought the song off the shepherd. The shepherd forgot the song, and the Rebbe had it, and it was one of the songs they said they sang at the temple. But here's the tzvah story that I heard from the Bava Rebbe. Now, this Rebbe Isaac of Kislev had a custom. Every Erev Yom Tov, like before Pesach, before Shavuos, before Sukkot, he would go with his Gabba. His assistant, his name was Rabbi Yaakov Fish, and he would tell him, "Come into the wagon. We're going to go somewhere. I have to go to a mikveh in a far place. I'm going to go out, and you just stay in the wagon. She'll leave the wagon. Then I'll come back, and we'll go back to Kislev." So he said, "Okay," and that was every Yom Tov. He went with the Rebbe, he went into the wagon, and him and the Rebbe and everything went to a distant place. He didn't know where it was. He waited for the Rebbe came back in, and he would go on. One Erev Yom Tov, he couldn't hide his curiosity. He was so curious, which mikveh is the Rebbe going to, and why is the Rebbe so insistent that I shouldn't leave the carriage, So he decided one Erev Yom Tov, you know what, I'm going out. So when the Rebbe was the mikveh, he went out, and he sees people. He didn't know where this area was. People were dressed differently. So he goes over to one person, and he says, "Kitem, where are we now? Where am I?" So he said, "You're in Tzfas." So he sees standing right next to Dari's mikveh. So he was like shocked, because Kislev is in Hungary and Tzfas is in Israel. To travel with a wagon from Hungary to Israel could take a pretty long time. But they said Tzaddikim had this thing that were known as Kvitzas Haderech. The Baal Shem Tov had it, that they knew a certain way, using certain Kabbalistic names of Hashem, that they knew how to go very, like fly, go fast. So okay, good. So he was in Tzfas. He was like, "Whoa, I didn't know I'm Tzfas." Meanwhile, while he was talking to the people in the area, Rebbe Isaac came out, he went into the wagon, and look, his gab was not there, and the carriage went back. So he comes back to Kislev, and Rebbe Yaakov Fish, his wife, asked the Rebbe, "Where's my husband?" He says, "Don't worry, your husband is in a good place. He'll be back with you next Yom Tov." He didn't want to tell your husband is in Tzfas, because then she'll know right away that that's where the Rebbe goes. And that's what happened. And Rebbe Yaakov Fish knew that the Rebbe Isaac of Kislev was going to come back Erev Yom Tov. So Erev Yom Tov he was waiting by the mikveh. The Rebbe Isaac of Kislev, he came, he went to the mikveh, he came back with the Rebbe, and he went. So this story I heard from the Bava Rebbe. He said it the Shabbos before, the Motzei Shabbos before the 7th of Adar. Now another miracle story about a Tzfas Rebbe whose Yartzeit is this week, the 12th of Kislev. His name was Rabbi Avram David of Averich. And he was a student of the Chernobyl Maggid, who was a student of the Baal Shem Tov. And he was one of the first rabbis to move to Tzfas, a Chassidish Rebbe. And he built a shul in Tzfas. If you haven't been to Tzfas, you could go see the shul. There was a story, in the 1830s, there was a big earthquake in Tzfas. I think I said this last week, but I'm saying it again because it's his Yartzeit this week. And there was a big earthquake in Tzfas, and he was with his students in the shul, and he could see the shul this very day. So he told his students, "Come with me to one side of the shul, the side where the Aron HaKodesh was, up until a certain point, and you'll be safe." They all came to the side where the Aron HaKodesh was, and right in front of the Aron HaKodesh, on the other side, the shul collapsed, and the other half of the Aron HaKodesh, from the Aron HaKodesh and further, remained with the people intact. And later they rebuilt it, and I wanted to go see the shul for myself, see this miracle. So when I was in Israel, over 10 years ago, I went Shabbos once to Tzfas. I went to the shul. It was Erev Shabbos, and I saw Taka. You see, half of the shul is from one material, and from the Aron HaKodesh further is from a different material. And now I'll tell you a personal Bat Ayin story.
What was the name of the shul?
The Bat Ayin shul.
Bat Ayin.
Yeah. So when I went into the shul, I saw the Gabba, the Shamas who took care of the shul, sitting there in the shul Friday afternoon. So I went over with him. I said, I heard so much about the Bat Ayin shul. I wanted to come see it for myself. So then I asked him, I say, "Accuse my favor, I'm here in the shul now. If you're the shamus of the Basayan shul, you must have heard some interesting stories of the Basayan. Can you tell me a good story of the Basayan?" So he said, "I'll tell you, I had a personal story with the Basayan." So look at, how do you have a personal story with the Basayan? You're on the, 2006, and the Basayan passed away in like 150 years before.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me this is the story what happened. He said there was somebody that caused a lot of problems to the shul. He claimed that the property is his. I don't know how that was, and that the shul, the people in the shul have to move out. He wanted to close the shul down. He wanted to maybe build something. I don't know what he wanted. He didn't want the people in the shul, but the people in the shul were very upset because this is the Basayan shul. As I said, this miracle happened with the shul. People davened there for years. I know they even have a Torah there that belonged to Reb Zisha, a big Rebbe. So they learned from it. It has a lot of nostalgia for people. It's a holy shul. But this guy didn't let go. He brought them to court. He wanted the property for himself. I don't know how he managed. After the court case, they said that, you know what? I don't know how they worked it out. The shul had to give him money. They had to pay him if they wanted the property. He said it was $20,000. So I don't know if it was for the whole property, because it's probably worth much more than $20,000. But they had to give him a check of $20,000. So finally, they scratched the money together. They gave him the check. The next day, the guy comes all frightened to this shamus who I met in the shul, and he says, "Here, take the money back." So I said, "What happened? You know, this guy was so gung-ho on starting off with the shul, and now," he said, "I'll tell you what happened. After he gave me the check, I went to sleep that night, and the Basayan came to me in a dream, and he said, 'What are you doing? Why are you starting up with my shul? What are you causing them all this aggravation?' So he said, 'I got so scared, I came the following day, and here's the money back.'" And this story is a first-hand story that I heard from the shamus of the shul of the Basayan, that he had it with this guy. So may the merit of the Basayan protect of all of us, and his yahrzeit is going to be this week, the 12th of Kislev.
Not me.
Yeah.